I haven't been watching a lot of movies lately. Before recording, I was telling Craig that I'm back in my gaming era. So I'm playing games from like the year 2000. So like I wouldn't say that.
Me too. I've been playing a lot of like emulated PS2 and original Xbox games.
Yeah, you can tell that when the girls start regressing, something's going wrong with society. Yeah, because I've been listening to I've been relying hard on my high school playlist, like all the pop punk you can shake a stick at, just because it's kind of comforting and I can just let it play in the background of whatever I'm doing. And I'm playing N64 games again, so this is a cry for help.
What are you playing?
I'm playing Majora's Mask.
Oh, okay. Hell yeah.
I was telling Craig that I feel that I'm struggling with the controls more than when I was a kid, which is a sign of my calcifying brain. But the puzzles are easier than I remember. So maybe my brain, while harder, is more ridged than before. Or maybe I'm just 34 and it's a children's game.
Are you playing it on Switch?
Yeah, the Switch has that N64 pack. Because Matt was playing Ocarina of Time, and I'm like, oh, yeah, no, I want to play Majora's Mask. And then I apparently played it 3 years ago. I have a save file that I don't remember doing, so it was like in like a fugue state. Clearly, the last time I was struggling, probably. Yeah. So I picked it back up, and it's like the part where the game gets really unpleasant, and I'm like, oh,
that's why you stopped.
Yeah, that's probably why I stopped. But I've forged through several hours later, and here I am. So
I'm actually playing Link's Awakening for the first time.
Wow, we're Zelda maxing.
Yeah. I have like a handheld emulator thing, so I've been playing it on my commute. It's perfect for that.
Do you have? Is it like an analog pocket?
No, it's an Ambernick. It's like a Chinese company that just sort of like makes weird handhelds.
Oh, cool. Because I've been playing the original Fire Emblem, or not the original one, but one of the old Game Boy Advance Fire Emblems on my analog as well. So I'm really
Sacred
regressing.
Sacred Stones?
No, it's the one before that. It's the one
Fire
with,
Emblem.
Yeah, just Fire Emblem without a subtitle.
Yeah.
The game itself is hideous, but the talk sprites are beautiful, and the animations when you're fighting are incredibly weighty and nice. But the overworld is not pretty to look at.
No, not really. I got that game when it like first came out in America, and my main takeaway was I wish I was playing like a side scroller. I love that game, for the record. I think it's great. Once I got into it, I was into it. But like my first thought was like, I wish I was playing with these sprites in a different video game.
Yeah. I'm glad that we're all regressing. I mean, Craig sounds like he's thriving. He saw a movie that came out this year.
Yeah. Well, Craig, did you get your stolen tape back from Eric Sparrow in Tony Hawk Underground like I did last week?
No, I did not. No, sorry. I haven't unlocked any Xbox achievements recently. So
I wonder if there's Eric Sparrow Yowie. How old is he? Is that a teenager?
I think so, but I'm not. I couldn't tell you. That game's weird because it has to be like this sort of like T for teen rated. I was about to say T for T.
Yeah,
I thought you were gonna say that.
Nope. T for teen skateboarding game. But they have to like reference like, yeah, you're on tour and you're partying. Man, you went so hard last night, but they can't like describe anything you were doing like in that much detail, you know? All of the cocaine has to be implied by the NPCs.
Okay, all of the documentation online does not list an age for your protagonist and Eric Sparrow. I'm going to say they're young adults. I'm going to say that there should be yaoi. There's no canon ages here. I'm going to say they're adults because I want them to be.
Well, I mean, in mine, they joined Team Flip and went on tour without their parents, so I would assume they would have to be at least 18.
I don't know. Rules were different in 2005.
Yeah.
Yeah. No, well, welcome to Swim Fans. We're doing really good. Hello and welcome to Swim Fans Bloodbath. This is your big ass horror block for the year. I am your co-host. My uncle has his own wing in the Louvre that I stay in. My name is Josh McKenzie.
I'm the facilities manager here, and I've decided to store all the paper with all the kerosene. I'm Craig Neeson.
I'm for some reason wearing latex gloves over my leather gloves. I'm Jennifer Hawking.
This week, kicking off our bloodbath block, we are talking 1987 Dario Argento film. Opera.
Just do it.
Okay, so if you haven't seen Opera, this movie is about Betty. All right, Betty is a young ingenue. She's an opera singer, and right at the start of the movie, there's like a film version of the Macbeth opera. So like a movie director is making it, and for the recording, the prima donna storms out. She's frustrated mid-rehearsal, as prima donnas will do, and she storms out of the opera house and she gets hit by a car. So Betty, the understudy, is now Lady Macbeth. This is her big break, and at first she's a little apprehensive. She thinks she's too young, but everybody gets her to finally go through with it. She begins her debut, and it seems to be going wonderfully. And we get sort of this first-person view of the most jolly man in history. He's just a floating pair of black, slick-looking gloves, and he's watching Betty from a booth. He murders a stagehand, and it sort of it knocks like a set light off, and it causes a big scene, and it begins these whispers of the curse of Macbeth, right? But Betty goes through with her performance. She's a hit. She's instantly a star. And so like she goes to spend the night with this guy who's a stagehand that she's interested in spending time with. While she's doing that, we see the floating black gloves. They break into the playhouse. They rip up Betty's dress that she wears on stage, and importantly, he kills like 3 or 4 of like the ravens they're using for the Macbeth show. There's like live birds that are being kept backstage, and he kills like 4 of them. This matters later. So she spends the night with her friend Stefano. They're like trying to have sex, but she's really just not in the mood for it. So he's like, okay, I'll make tea, and then we sort of get the sort of like common route of murder in this movie is that the killer appears from the ether, ties up Betty, tapes her mouth, and most interestingly tapes a set of needles under her lower eyelid so that she has to keep her eyes open. She has to watch what's happening. She can't close her eyes or she'll tear her eyelids up. So the Giallo man murders her friend. Betty obviously escapes, is freaked out. She tells the director, who's like her only friend here, and she's like, hey, this is sort of like a guy that I see in my dreams. The police begin to investigate. They find out that he's ripped up the dress backstage and killed some of the ravens. And so the next victim here is the seamstress. She's fixing Betty's dress, and they find like a bracelet on the costume that is implied to belong to the killer. And as Julia is trying to like see what's inscribed on the bracelet, the killer does the same routine. So ties Betty up, makes her watch with the needle eye situation, and then murders Julia in a gory fashion. So after the second murder, she runs to the detective that she met earlier, and she's like, oh my God, help me, man. And he's like, okay, go home alone and unguarded, and what we'll do is I'll send my friend who's also a police detective that you don't know. I'm gonna send him to you. So Betty's like that tracks. There's nothing wrong with this plan. So she goes back to her apartment, and she puts in like eye drops or something that makes her vision blurry. And when she hears a male voice at the door who says that he's the cop that she's been waiting for, she lets him in. Of course, she can't see his face. And so as she's in there, he's like sort of looking around the apartment. Her agent comes in, and her agent's like, oh, I just saw that cop in the lobby. And Betty's like, but the cop's up here. And they're like, oh my God. So they don't know if the one downstairs is the real police officer or if the one in the apartment is the real police officer. So they're obviously freaking out. There's one cop at the door, one somewhere in the apartment, and he's banging on the door. The agent looks out through the peephole, and she's like, "You're not a police officer," and he shoots her through the peephole with a gun. So her agent is dead. Betty is sort of fleeing the killer, who is now like getting into the apartment, and she finds out that the man that she had previously let in actually was the real detective, but he has also been killed by the killer. So she is fleeing. She's trying to shake him, but she's trapped in her apartment. But there's a little girl who's her neighbor who lets her in through the ventilation system of their old European style apartment building, who's able to get her out through the air conditioning duct into another apartment, and she's able to escape. So sort of in like the last act of the movie, the director has an idea. He's like, well, okay, the one thing we know about crows is that they don't forget, right? They hold grudges and they don't forget. So what we'll do is that you will continue to be Lady Macbeth, and then we're going to ruin the show. And have the box of crows come through and open up, and the crows will remember who attacked them earlier, when he murdered them. So there's this great set piece where a giant steel cage of crows crashes through a colossal pane of glass. There was no other way to do this, to let the crows on stage. They fill the room. All the audience is freaking out, and the crows all go for the killer. Wouldn't you know it, the killer is the one man still alive in the movie. It's the police detective. So the crows attack him. They pluck out his eyeball. They maul him. Whatever. In sort of like the chaos, Betty like flees to her dressing room, but of course the detective is already there. He reveals that his motivation was that he was in love with Betty's mother, and of course she followed in her footsteps being an opera singer. So he's like, okay, she didn't love me, so you'll have to, or something. It's like a sex violence type deal. And he's like, all right, so what? So I'm going to blindfold you. I'm going to cover the most flammable room in history. We'll get to it. They cover it in gasoline, light it on fire, and she thinks that he catches fire and dies, and she's able to escape in sort of the nick of time, she and the director. In the last scene, she and the director are on the set of The Sound of Music, and she's in like a little cottage, and they're happy, they're free, until the director sees a news report that actually the police detective didn't die. It was not a real body, so he's still out there. She finds out just in time. The director is murdered by the killer, and then she finally takes him down. She like beats him to death with a rock by pretending to be in love with him. She like lowers his guard, and then she bludgeons him with a rock. And the last scene is that she's decided that she is one with nature. She is free from the trappings of humanity, and she loves the grass. What do we think about opera?
Opera fucking shreds, man. I love just about everything in here. Like, I get that it's about how Dario Argento felt about his place in the film industry at the time, how he felt like spurned and rejected for the movies he made in the 1980s. But my brain is much more enticed by its extreme stylization. Like, the camera moves in here are crazy. I'm going to guess at least 3 entire minutes of runtime are seen from the perspective of a raven in flight.
Hell yeah.
The whole movie is so hypnotic. And I think it works all just so well with like Dario's usual like dream logic scenarios that he puts his characters in. I'm not sure any movie has ever gotten more use out of a Steadicam operator. There's barely a static shot in here. Like the camera just whips around every room that they're in, seeing everything from every possible angle. All of it is centered around just maybe the most opulent kills in any Dario movie. SWIMFANS all-star Daria Nicolodi getting shot in the eye through a keyhole is maybe my favorite on-screen kill in like any movie. But so much of it is like overly violent and savage and brutal. It's a little shocking that it doesn't really feel that exploitative to me. It feels very Italian, but not like I didn't feel like I needed a shower after watching the movie or anything. The thrills I think are thrilling. The ending is wild. It has all of the like reinterpretations of like Hitchcock's suspense rules and styles, and it's like all told through like Argento's like dreamy lens, and I love all of that just so much. This is like a perfect movie to me. This is pure Italian excellence.
Yeah, I think that this might be my my favorite Argento film. I think I like Phenomenon's eccentricities and its goo puddles and its insects. So it's like a runner-up. But kind of like thinking about this, in every Argento film, there are moments that I can identify as being like, oh my god, that was amazing, or oh my god, that was amazing. And there's like little fragments throughout a film, even if I didn't overall like it or thought it might be spotty or inconsistent. There's always something like spectacular embedded within it, regardless. This film is consistent. Like this is like to me this most consistent Argento film that I've ever seen, where I'm here from beginning to end. No character is acting like they should be acting. In a situation of there's a serial murderer. I'm simply gonna just like bounce from apartment to apartment. Or like I'm gonna continue to do Macbeth, this World War II opera Macbeth. I'm playing Lady Macbeth, but I'm also dressed like an Egyptian princess. There's a phenomenal just like discordance between like the murders and like the goings on and how characters respond. And I mean, the whole film is about like looking. There's eyes everywhere. We're seeing crow's eyes, people's eyes. We're seeing point of view. I mean, that Steadicam has so much fucking personality. We're creeping and we're peeping around corners, and just the overall like cumulative snowball works. It's exciting from beginning to end, and and there's always, of course, that Italian thing of everything being ADR'd over. All the dialogue is just like slightly disconnected from the way that everyone's voice or everyone's mouth, the movement of the mouth versus the recorded dialogue. So it puts you at this like weird kind of remove from the film, or creates a kind of like dreamy, foggy distance, almost necessarily. I think this is just like so perfectly synthetic of all the things that work in an Argento film, firing kind of on all cylinders. And this is easily, and not even in the realm of like Argento, this might be my favorite fucking ending of like a horror movie ever. The killer's still alive. He's somehow come to the sound of music, and he kills my director boyfriend, and she's like, you know what? Like I am like my mother. I do want to edge you by making you kill people in front of me. Actually, it turns out I love that. I'm not actually frigid anymore. And then she like picks up a rock and bashes his skull in, and and yells like I'm nothing like my mother. And then she turns into Bjork. It's fucking awesome. Like just that idea of like she just like she sees a lizard and she's like, this is the most beautiful thing I've ever seen. You're free, little guy. And then she just like hugs grass. It's sublime, and it sounds like I'm doing like a goof or something, but like like the through line of like, oh no, the leading lady's out, I got a star as Lady Macbeth, and this is like the perfect opportunity for a cop to get his fucking rocks off by killing people in front of me. Yeah, like why not end the movie in the fucking Alps and have her hug grass at the end and be like, the greenery and the insects and the flowers are fucking beautiful. Roll credits. It's sublimely bizarre, and to me this is the most solid Argento film I've ever seen.
Yeah. I really liked this. I think, Craig, you said it. It's like the steadiest, and I think that I agree. because I mean, so I'm not a scholar. I think I've seen this in Phenomena and Suspiria, so I'm not like a I don't have like a ton of experience really, but Suspiria especially has like moments that are like super fucking boring and then when you get to like the neon hellscape, I'm like, oh fuck yeah, dude, like this is the good stuff. Now I'm feeling something. But I feel like opera's kind of got the juice the whole way through visually. Like I love even the small touches, like the insane riz of this Macbeth set. Like there's like there's like one spinning windmill for some reason, like just on the stage. It's an incredible vibe. I love her I don't even know what to call her outfit, but it's giving to me. I think it's awesome. I love that they thought that the leather gloves weren't wet enough, so they had to give him a wetter look to his gloves. I think that's so fucking fun. The recurring needle eye motif was really great. I think it's really visually striking. I love that like cartoon dagger that the killer uses. Like it's like just it's like a low poly dagger, low poly style dagger. The whole thing's like really fun. Our lead actress here, the one playing Betty, is just like really fun to watch. I mean, and like Jessica Harper in Suspiria is fun to watch too. I think all of the leading actresses that I've seen have been fun to watch, but something about this one just kept me way more locked in the whole way through. Yeah, I really enjoyed it. I can't wait to talk about the most flammable room in the world. I'm really excited about it. I don't know. This one really had the juice for me.
Do you want to talk about the most flammable room of all time?
Yeah, I do. I really do. Okay, so because he's got her. All right, so the killer has her tied up. This is the end, the end of the final act or whatever. He's got her tied up in the room, and it's the driest room you've ever seen. Okay, so the wood floors and the wood walls are looking real thirsty. They're not like lacquered or finished. They're very raw looking wood, and in all of the shelves,
parched.
It's looking parched, and in all of the shelves are like the oldest, crispiest sheet music you could ever imagine. like from Mozart's fucking bookshelf. Is this sheet music? So it is like papyrus and like just thick and like a.
It looks like if you dropped any of those books, they would explode like the dynamite from Sorcerer.
You might as well have like filled the room with dry leaves, is how like thirsty the room was. And then importantly, and like I mean, of course, it's an Argento movie, so reality's fuzzy at the edges, but like, so what has happened is that a murder of crows has ripped the eye out of this man, so he's had to sort of improvise on the fly. So I don't know that he was necessarily carrying his several gallons of gasoline with him. I feel like that giant jug of gasoline was just in this room, which has got to be the funniest place to store your very flammable liquid. It's just so awesome. It's like if you're like, oh, please don't tie me up in the dynamite chamber and light a cigarette. That would be so bad.
And not only that, but it's like later revealed that that's also where he was keeping the dummy that is exactly like him. Mm-hmm. He like. That idea that in this chaos of him being revealed by being mauled by crows and her flight from him, that they would both end up in the room with the kerosene and the paper, and also his dummy, his perfect substitute.
That was so lifelike that it fooled the police for what feels like texturally
at
like
least
at least a month.
week. At least a week before they were like, I think this thing might be plastic.
It's like in fucking Swordfish, where you learn that John Travolta had like a body duplicate so he could fake his own death. Like really conveniently stored in a random room that they both find themselves in.
It should have been like a decoy octopus kind of situation.
Yeah. I mean, and that's just like, I mean, because when you get into an Argento movie, you know that you're going to be in for some fun locations, right? Yeah. I mean, in Suspiria, you have the hallway of broken glass, which is wonderful. In Phenomena, you have an entire Olympic-sized pool full of corpses, which is, just magical, as we've talked about on the show. So, every movie is really going to give it to you, but, in this one, there's just so many hits. I love that her neighbor's entirely green apartment. It is so off-putting and such a fundamental level. I talked about earlier how she's staying with the stagehand, and the stagehand is like, oh yeah, my uncle's really rich, but I don't know that anybody has this much money.
No.
Everything is gilded and everything is from at least 1700.
Yeah.
And I don't think anybody's that rich. And so it's just all of these locations are so fucking strange, and I just love to see it.
They clearly shot it in the most opulent part of a museum. And then they were going through it in the scene, and then I don't know, they must have just realized this doesn't look like a bedroom. This looks like a museum. Maybe we should have a line. So there's these 2 lines of dialogue, completely irrelevant. That character is almost never mentioned again. He's one of 5 or 6 characters that just sort of vanished from the movie, which I think works because of the dream thing. But no, it's so crazy that they tried to pass it off anyway as a bedroom.
I just love.
Oh, it's not its own it's not introduced as a freestanding fucking castle. It's an apartment, but it's got 3-story tall fucking ceilings. My uncle's rent controlled fucking apartment that has Corinthian columns holding up the marble ceilings or whatever.
So fucking. Even for this guy, Dario's got to be I gotta say something. I know that at the dance school we had all yellow hallways, but this one I really gotta lampshade.
This is gonna shatter the audience's suspension of disbelief here. We gotta rein it in.
I wonder if it was a reaction, if he took some of the feedback people gave him about, I think it was specifically Tenebrae and Phenomena that critics really didn't like, and I wonder if just the impact on that was no, I guess I could just throw in a few lines to explain the dream logic, but not actually fix the I guess fix would be the wrong word, to ground it or something.
Yeah.
He doesn't actually ground it. He just tries to come up with more logical explanations of why they would be in Argento-like situations.
Yeah, and then you could just feel Dario being is this better? Do you like this now? And I'm no, it might be worse, actually.
The opera itself being super lavish and red, and we're seeing these elegant literal bird's eye views of it, and then backstage is at once again massive and sprawling, and also a dungeon.
It's so good.
It's a dungeon, it's a warehouse, it's even the seamstresses, the workshop where they're making costumes, their costumes in glass, these large glass cases, and there's even a moment spent that I'm why are we spending so long on this, where the seamstress is I know there's a magnifying glass around here, and she just starts rooting through the the environment. She's pulling drawers open and shit. A big skein of fabric gets knocked over by the protagonist, and it's it's just again, are we just stunting here on look at this massive bizarro. It's kind of what you would imagine a seamstress shop in the back of an opera would look like, but this is
it's cavernous though.
It's cavernous.
It's so big. The ceilings are so, I mean, don't get me wrong, if I had to work in a costume department. That's where I would want to work. It's huge. It's luxurious. There's giant Baroque scissors everywhere, just right for stabbing somebody. It's
big raven cage in there
glass.
too.
Yeah. Bolts of fabric constantly on the edge of rolling off and hitting somebody. It's really where you want to be.
It's cool because like I don't know anything about European opera houses, right? I have no ground for like any of that. But in New York, if you go to a theater, it's mostly just a theater, and then like backstage is like 5% or something, you know, like of like the total floor space. Like it's so the opposite of whatever this is. There's a really great shot of Betty walking back in. It's when she's gonna go stay in her dressing room instead of going home, and she like, and you see like the opera house from the angle of backstage looking out, and she like walks in front of it at a distance, and it looks like a matte painting or something. It looks so flat and small compared to like the backstage area, which is like most of the frame. I don't know. There's something really, really great about it, like the size and the scale of everything.
Yeah, I think there's like maybe because like I'm not an expert here, but maybe based on what you're saying that he took feedback maybe from Suspiria and Tenebrae or something, there does seem to be like a little bit of balance to like the sort of dreamlike, grounded, like a little bit something a little grounded about opera compared to the other movies I've seen, which are a little more off the wall, which are also cool. But I do think that this slightly more diluted, maybe that's like got a negative connotation, this slightly more, I guess just grounded mode of Argento was like just really kept me locked in a little bit more. I didn't bounce off of anything. I could just enjoy this ridiculous needle contraption. It's so fun to watch Betty like panic, and then the scene cuts and she's like no longer stressed out. She's just seen like, but like it's so dreamlike, right? Like she's witnessed her second murder of the day, and she goes outside and she's like, oh, right, and then she goes to another building and she's like, I'm actually fine. I'm simply European again.
Yeah,
and it's just so fucking good.
Yeah, she's witnessed 3 murders, and she lays down in her bed and puts on a meditation tape, and it's like, yeah, that's all right. In for 4, out for 4. Let's just put this. Tomorrow's a new day.
Yeah, it's like because she's again witnessed 2 or 3 murders by this point, and her friend's like, just relax. Okay, just chill out. which is so dreamlike in a way that's like subtle, right? Like it's not like I almost think the idea that she saw the guy in like her dreams, and then the dream was like maybe a memory that she had when she was a little girl, is maybe a little heavy-handed. But like I love like the subtle dream logic of like just not even feeling consistent from one shot to the next. Like when you cross a threshold, it's like you enter a loading zone, and your mood resets or something.
It's when you finish a portal test chamber and you walk through the machine that eliminates all the portals behind you. Don't need those anymore.
You never have to worry about your sexy stagehand boyfriend again. This is like sort of, I don't know if this is enough. I don't know if there's enough here to draw this conclusion, but this is what I latched onto. And like, I can't tell if it's just because it takes place in an opera house, which does happen, but there seems to be something so deliberate to me about like this visual of the crow, like ripping out the policeman's eye, where it's like, oh, this is Argento's Phantom of the Opera. Because like it's about like disfiguring sort of the antagonist here. He's sexually obsessed with the ingenue, just like in Phantom of the Opera. And then that's kind of where like the comparison ends. But it does seem like all of the like the gothic romance part of Phantom of the Opera, Argento would have omitted anyway. So I'm like, maybe these are just the parts that make sense with his like oeuvre. It's like, the mutilation and the sexual obsession. Mm-hmm. And so I'm like, I don't know if like that's like enough, if it's too superficial. Like, did either of you like think about that? Am I reaching?
I think you're onto something, because about 11 years after he made this, he actually did make a Phantom of the Opera movie. And I haven't seen. It's supposed to be terrible. It's supposed to be like just genuinely awful. Although I've visited some late era like Argento movies, like after he got, I'm doing air quotes here, bad. Because this is sort of like in like the canon of his movies, this is supposed to be like the last like great one. But I had fun with like Trauma and Sleepless and stuff. But so I don't know how much I buy that. But he did at one point make a Phantom of the Opera movie, and I could totally see him like coming back to this and being like, no, I think I could have got it more dead on or something like.
Sure. Yeah, it's just that the visual. I mean, because you do have this like recurring eye imagery, right? Like it's like the needles on Betty's eyes are like the visual like iconography of the movie. Mm-hmm. So like I guess it's not completely out of pocket to be like, oh, he tried to take her eyes, so the birds took his eye. Like, you could say that, I guess, but it's just like, I think it's even, his face is only disfigured on one half. I think it's even the same half that the Phantom is disfigured on, which I guess is a 50-50 shot if you're the makeup guy. I don't know. It just felt, to me, it felt on purpose.
Yeah. And so much of Argento's movies are about watching. His first movie, Bird with the Crystal Plumage, like the first murder in that, is like a guy who's like stuck between two like glass doors that won't open, and he sees someone get killed on the other side of one. So like that image of like being trapped with nothing to do but watch something horrible is like deep in his DNA.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I'll take that. I'll take maybe kind of. I think that's for the amount of evidence that's really here. I'll take that.
Yeah, and that's I think that might be more in his like more like straight giallo work than like his horror stuff. So like with the movies we've talked about on here so far before this are like Suspiria and Phenomenon. Those are like. Well, Suspiria is a horror movie. Phenomena's like a dark fantasy movie. He's much more known for like these murder mystery movies, like very Hitchcock inspired, very like dreamlike yet very structured kills, and yeah, just an obsession with like with movies, like forcing you to watch, and like then like the witness becomes like a stand-in for the audience.
Sure. I mean, this was almost going to be my my Letterboxd review until the end of the movie was so Sound of Music nightmare mode. Mm-hmm. But like I was like, that an ingenue in the performing arts hates to see Dario coming. A woman who wants you to pay to watch. She hates to see you coming.
And I think some of that goes in with like the like there's a character in here that's just Dario Argento, right? He's like a former horror movie filmmaker who like is critically reviled, who is directing an opera now. And he doesn't really look like Dario Argento. He looks much more like Bruce Willis in The Fifth Element, and Dario Argento looks way more like a corpse. But it's so clearly like him trying to like show to me anyway. My interpretation is that like he's trying to inject high art with like his vision of like opulent murder.
Yeah, I mean, I do think it's interesting because he's so much of his movies, at least in my my purview, are like ones that, like you've already said, are about watching, but not in the way that like I feel like his way of watching is different from like a De Palma. Like it feels, something about Argento feels less voyeuristic and more like scopophilic, I guess. Like if there's a distinction to be drawn there, it seems like Argento is more about looking and De Palma's more about voyeuring. Does that make sense? Like it just like there's something something more sinister about like a De Palma style looking, a more malicious kind of looking. compared to Dario, even though Dario's are about like ridiculous cartoon style murders. I don't know if that's a distinction without meaning. It just seems like I feel like De Palma movies make me feel ickier.
Yeah, I can see that. I think they are both pulling from Hitchcock, you know?
Yeah.
And I think they both share that common ancestor. But I think you're right. I think there is something very, very different about like the ways they use that toolkit to like push the audience in like different ways.
Yeah, because like De Palma feels like it's like about not just voyeurism, but like recording and like keeping like an archive of you know,
it's about,
you changing.
It's about
or whatever, like,
jacking off to
blind.
security cam videos of a women's dressing room. That's
And Argento's like, isn't it crazy to behold a hot lady on stage?
And Argento's like, what if you had to watch a ballerina get stabbed to death?
Yeah. Yeah. I think there's something there. There's some daylight.
There's
between
nuance.
those.
Yeah.
The music for this goes crazy.
Yeah. It's really good.
Like I just love that. Whenever there's about to be a kill, there's that sick guitar that just starts going.
Yeah, I was sure that he must have like hired some metal band or like licensed some like music like he did in Phenomena, like that has like Motorhead on it, right? But I think he just like commissioned new metal music from one of the guys from Goblin and Brian Eno of all people. They were, I think there's one other guy, but they all collaborated on the soundtrack.
Oh yeah.
I think it's probably less jarring than the soundtrack of Phenomena, which is like, I think it very intentionally jarring, and I love that about it, but like it does work its way in a lot more seamlessly here. And it's like used in the quote unquote right places, you know. Like there's a scene in Phenomena. It's like it's one of my favorite scenes where Jennifer Connelly is finding out that Donald Pleasance has been killed, and it's her walking up to his house, and like the paramedics are taking his body out or whatever, and it's just Locomotive by Motorhead, like a song that's just about doing cocaine and banging chicks and stuff. And it's so strange in that moment, but it does create a really unique scene. But it's also kind of like, what's going on here? What emotion am I supposed to be feeling in this moment? And here it's like, no, murder, terror, shredding guitars. We have all of this opera music in here as well, but we're also bringing in these Italian prog guys just to shred on the soundtrack.
Yeah, and it's such like a nice contrast too. It feels like this feels reductive, but it feels like he's making a distinction between like, and I'm saying this with like air quotes, right? Like high art and low art, right? Like he's making a distinction between these lush theaters and this opera tradition, and these like gruesome, tawdry murders and this heavy metal music in the background. It feels very much like some sort of a statement not only on looking and the removing the voluntariness of looking, but also like of collapsing this art hierarchy or something.
Yeah, I think you're right. I think he sees specifically this movie as like, I don't know, it's like a movie about a show. It's about like something refined, and like he's always taken himself like incredibly seriously, and I think it's about like, no, this is art. Murdering young women on screen, with extravagant amounts of blood or whatever, is art. Like you can't, like, I know you guys all hate this, but like I'm convinced that I'm onto something.
Yeah. I mean, there's even an auteur in the film in the form of a director, right?
Yeah.
And that moment where he there's a woman in his apartment, and this is like one of the only times we break from the lead character. there's a woman in his apartment, and she's like, I took 2 flights and turned down a fashion shoot just to spend the night with you.
Yeah.
And she's reading reviews of like the play. Everyone fucking hates it. They think it's gaudy and awful, but they're like, this girl that's singing in it, fucking tremendous. And she's like, but why doesn't this upset you? It's like, do you want to have sex with her? And he's like, maybe.
he's like, well, maybe so.
Maybe. And like, like part of me couldn't, we talked about this with Black Swan, and I think this is another instance. What's his face is stolen from another,
Aronofsky.
Aronofsky's stolen from another film. It feels like I feel like he borrowed a couple things from opera here, but like that idea of the auteur being kind of I don't know. I couldn't decide, and maybe there's no deciding. But is it him talking about himself, or is it him talking about other filmmakers or other directors, right? Because it's and not only that, but a kind of like unnecessary bit of dialogue is that not only is this man a director of stage, he's also a director, a director of film, right? And it doesn't feel like an accident that like Argento would be carving out this character who's kind of I mean, at least in my view, like, he has a vision, and that vision is not being received well, right? But it's nevertheless like, you know what, fuck it, like, I'm doing my own thing. And also I do want to fuck my leading lady. See, I mean, there is that kind of that auteur receiving bad press sequence, which feels a little like Argento talking about Argento, if that makes sense.
Yeah, I mean, it seems to me that like the this like film director is sort of like another one of those like high art, low art distinctions. Like you have a guy who makes like crappy horror movies, but is also an opera, right? So it seems like juxtaposing those two things together. And I think it works both as like a self-insert of Argento and sort of like a synecdoche for like particularly maybe horror directors, right, who are famous for having movies with young starlets who show their tits like on screen, right? So it feels like it's sort of like both of those things. Which is fun.
Yeah.
I wish I had her apartment, man. I don't even care if there's a killer in it.
Yeah.
That apartment is like 7 rooms or something. Like the ceilings are 14 feet high.
The sturdiest bed canopy you've ever seen.
The sturdiest bed canopy, air conditioning vent so big that you could have like a guy live in there, which is probably not great for your mental health. But I like knowing the space is there.
Mm-hmm. There's a line in when they're like, should we scream for help? And Betty goes, oh, this building is so old. The walls are 3 feet thick. No one would be able to hear their neighbor. And I'm like, what's that like? Because old buildings here, it just means that the walls are really cheap. You can hear everything your neighbor is doing. Imagine.
Yeah. No, imagine living in a building that's hewn from stone. And you can just live there. In like a cave that also has electricity. It's incredible. I need a European style apartment immediately.
We should just move to Europe.
They can't take us. We'd be deported instantly.
We'll haunt an opera house or something. We'll make it work.
Yeah.
That's actually true. Like they can't keep us out of the sewers.
Yeah.
No.
Look at these vents. We're set, dude.
I know Craig's gonna fill it full of candles. It's gonna go crazy.
There's no fire code, baby. We when in Rome.
All right, got the kerosene next to the old newspapers.
Yeah, precariously next to Craig's giant cage.
I'm just like
Next to my Bunsen burner collection.
I'm absent-mindedly just lighting matches.
It's like the Fatal Attraction turning the lights on and off. But you're just like with a huge stack of like matchbooks from a restaurant that you stole, just like one by one, just going through.
Yeah, we didn't give Craig enough enrichment in his enclosure, so it's just dangerously close to arson. Is there a Argento movie I should go to next if I really enjoyed opera?
So my favorite previous to this was Deep Red.
Deep Red owns.
Yeah, Deep Red is fantastic.
I love Tenebrae quite a bit. Yeah, I guess just going into like his giallo work. His output was like incredibly rock solid until like the 90s, in my opinion. So yeah, Bird with the Crystal Plumage, Four Flies on Grey Velvet, Deep Red, Tenebrae. Inferno is like a half sequel to Suspiria.
Oh, sick.
But like it ejects even more logic than Suspiria does. Like there are whole parts of that movie that I just do not believe make any sense at all. But it is very pretty to look at. They're all very pretty to look at.
Yeah, one of the most striking things that I ever like whenever Argento comes up, it's the beginning of Deep Red where they're having like a psychic conference. And like this, there's a woman giving a kind of like psychic reading, and she's at the head of the thing. But then she senses essentially like the killer in the room, and like we get like this close up of the water that she's drinking spilling out of her mouth, and she begins to have this like kind of like psychic like holy shit, there's something really dark here. It is sublime. It's just sublime filmmaking. Okay,
shit. I gotta dive in. I mean, it's a long October, and I'm almost done with Majora's Mask, so there's definitely time.
He wrote and produced a lot of movies too. I really love the Demons movies, but those are a bit less artistically minded than his giallo films. Demons is almost I would think of it as like the other side of the coin to opera, but he only produced it. I think Mario Bava's kid directed it. But that's about people who are stuck in a movie theater as when the curse in the movie they're watching causes bad stuff to happen in the theater that they're in. Which like
that's incredible. I don't know. I think that if we were trapped inside a cursed movie theater, it would be different. We'd do better.
My life would have meaning.
I just simply wouldn't fall victim to the cursed movie theater.
Yeah, I simply would not put the mask on.
No.
Rip to you though.
Yeah, sucks to suck. Couldn't be me. Any final thoughts about opera?
I love the ending so much. I know we already talked about it, but it's just I loved it.
Like part of me was really bewitched by that idea that she would be like sincere about like, oh yeah, I am really into edging you. Like I really do want to engage in a relationship that my mother had with you where I edged you by making you kill people in front of me. And I was like, oh shit. But then it's just like the logic, like the way that the continuous spilling out of the plot happens, that idea that she just picks up a random rock and, like it doesn't like fully like connect. It doesn't like really fully feel like she's like knocking him on the head, but like it's like, no bitch, I found this rock and you're out. And like and then immediately we're transported into that video of Bjork opening up a television and being like, look at all the circuits in the cities. It's like a little city. It's like a little electric city factory. But she's doing that to nature. Like she saw like just like it just snaps and it's like, I saw your German
crazy.
Shepherds. I knew the cops were coming, and then they just like leave her alone for some reason. And then she's David
so fucking funny.
And then she's David Attenborough, It's like it's fucking like it's incredible. Like it's again, like if we're gonna like allow a film to like spill out in this way, that's like it just, you know, non sequitur and human behaviors that really don't like gel in sequence to each other. Like there's something really beautiful and sweet and tender about this movie freeing this girl that's been tortured. And her realizing, wow, like life in nature is amazing. Like it doesn't really follow. I mean, again, in that non sequitur way, it does not follow, but it's fucking great. You know?
Yeah,
like it rules. There's really no other way to say it other than it does not follow. Nevertheless, it's like the perfect way to end the film.
it's
because like,
sorry,
go ahead. No, go ahead.
It's crazy. He does like the reverse of what like Steven Spielberg will do, where like he'll hide someone just out in like the foreground where the camera can't see, and they won't be in the scene, but then they'll enter the scene just by virtue of entering the frame. Like they don't exist until they exist on screen. There's like kind of like a weird like object permanence thing happening, but at the end of this, the cops just sort of like leave the frame, and then it feels like they're miles away. Like it feels like they just don't really exist anymore, and this girl just has like a moment where she hugs the grass and saves like a lizard.
Well, because like I mean there's this whole like the thing about like her being like her mother is so half-hearted to me. Like,
yes,
because like I mean you could, because you get this sort of like oblique justification for why the killer is
not important. It's so not important. His motivation.
It's not important. It's unimportant, and it's kind of half baked. Like she shows up in a couple like flashbacks, and then so when she has her complete breakdown about how she's nothing like her mother, and in fact she wants to become like a patch of grass, it's just it's so fucking wild. She's like, I'm nothing like her, in fact I'm a creature now. And it's like, I guess, girl, like I suppose that's a way to like react to the situation.
I guess that might happen to me if I watched 9 people get like murdered.
Yeah, why wouldn't your brain just shatter? Just go for it. I gave this 4 stars. Maybe that was a little cool. I might go up to 4.5.
4.5. I had a lot of fun with this.
5 fucking stars. This movie's perfect. No notes.
Is this your favorite Argento?
I think Phenomena is probably my favorite, but this is up there. I think Phenomena, Suspiria, and Opera are like, I don't know, which one did I see the most recently?
Sure.
Yeah, it's the Satoshi Kon
Yeah.
Josh phenomenon. Yeah.
Well, thank you so much for listening. I hope that you are excited about the Bloodbath lineup, because I know I am. I look forward to this every year, but for whatever reason, this like lineup we got is just full of movies that I've always meant to see, like Opera included has been on my list because it came so highly recommended. And all of the movies on the slate this year are like that. So we are in for some fun horror flicks this year. I hope that you will watch along with us. If you want to see the video that Craig made, it's on all the social medias. You should
watch the video Craig made.
You should watch the video. We widened his cage by 3 square inches. It was so good. He now has a designated corner where he can put his waist.
Yeah,
which he didn't have before.
No,
yeah.
No, we don't just hand those out.
The terms are quite severe, and it is revocable. So we'll see how things play out.
Yeah, it depends on how many views a video gets, frankly. So.
Just like looking at the analytics and like just like tightening some bolts to make it like ever so slightly smaller.
Slowly spinning a huge wheel that makes the cage like regress into the wall.
Yeah, I mean, not to spoil, but after this we have The Wicker Man, the 1973 one. We have Prince of Darkness, 1987, with Vu Pinette. We have Mad God. That's 2021. And we're ending it off with The Exorcist, 1973. So
Hell yeah.
All heaters, all bangers. October is going to be really fun. So watch along with us. Let us know what you think. Because I'm actually new to the only movie of these that I've seen so far is The Exorcist. So these are all going to be new to me. All movies that I should have already seen by now. If you have thoughts about them, write in. You can tell us what you think. You can do that on the episodes. So that's on Spotify. You can DM the show like on Instagram. You can email us, swimfanspodcast@gmail.com. Let us know what you think about these movies. And you can find all of the shows, including all the previous Bloodbath sessions. That is on Apple Podcasts, Spotify, YouTube. Give us a follow wherever you listen. Give us, rate, review, subscribe, all that good stuff. We really appreciate it. Send in a question at those same spots if you like. Instagram, Spotify episodes, swimfanspodcast@gmail.com. Write in if you like. You can also find the show on all the social medias. That is Blue Sky, Instagram, Letterboxd, SwimFansPod. Give us a follow there. Like I said, you can see the Bloodbath video. Please check it out. And we are on Patreon. So that is patreon.com/swimfans. For as low as $1 a month, you can subscribe and get access to all of the extra stuff that we do, monthly bonus episodes. So check us out there. And you can find me at all the same social medias, Twitter, Instagram, Blue Sky, Letterboxd. It's user Amons, AMONNS. I have been working on something new, so that's been what most of my spare time has been going to. But like I said at the top of the show, I've been playing Majora's Mask again. I'm just thinking about I'm doing like the spooky part, the Iconic Canyon region, which is all like where the horror imagery is, all of like the mournful, sad shit. I just got the mirror shield, which is just a face screaming on Link's back for the rest of the game. There's just a mournful, howling face. Yeah, it's a good game. Jen.
You can follow me on Blue Sky, diatron5.swimfanspod.com. I'm on Letterboxd Diatron. Didn't watch too much this week. I rewatched Fright Night. It's still pretty good. It's fun.
I've not seen that.
The 1980s movie. I thought you reviewed it.
Hold on, let me Google this.
You gave it 2.5 stars on September 28th, 2023.
What is this movie?
It's kind of like Rear Window might be too much. Disturbia, but the neighbor's a vampire.
Oh, that shit sucked. Yeah.
I think it's fun, but like the lead is terrible. If like Michael J. Fox was the lead or something, I think the movie would be pretty good. But like the kid in it sucks. And it's a bummer because I actually quite like the rest of the cast in it. The kid who plays Evil Ed is really fun. The horror host is fun. The neighbor is fun. Just the lead is like, he's like, what if Crispin Glover had no sauce?
Because it's Chris Sarandon, who I usually like, but I just I don't know. I don't remember loving this one now that I'm being reminded this movie exists.
I think there's stuff to like about it. The effects in it are amazing, but I don't know how well it comes together. Anyway, Craig.
You can find me at Craig Neeson on Instagram and Letterboxd, CraigNeeson.com. I saw Godspeed You Black Emperor at a cemetery last night, and it was
hell yeah.
Let's go.
As soon as fucking chart number 3 started playing, I just involuntarily just started weeping. It was fucking beautiful. But I did today. I saw P.T. Anderson's One Battle After Another. I keep getting that fucking title wrong. So I liked it. And it seems like everyone loves it. And it's I deeply encourage everyone to go see it. I feel like I might be a little more cool on it than some folks, and that's okay. You know, we're all special.
Are you okay about it?
Yeah. So like, I don't really have a gripe with it. Like, the thing is, I don't really have a gripe with it I have a gripe with Johnny Greenwood and his score, but like I don't really have a gripe with the film. I don't know. It didn't play as well to me as other things, and I don't even care to compare it to other things. I think all of his films are so like distinct in character and form that I feel like comparing them might be a little like useless or something, even though there's clearly style and threads that bind them together. I don't think Boogie Nights is particularly like The Master. You know what I mean? If that makes sense.
Yeah.
So so yeah, I don't know. It was a movie that I enjoyed, and that's just kind of it. Yeah, which again is only made awkward by the fact that everyone just seems to be like fucking in love with it. But that's fine. I'm really happy for that.
He said lyingly.
No, I'm so glad you had like a great experience watching it. I didn't, but you know,
Well,
it's
okay,
great that you did.
when the three of us have seen it, I'll talk in at length at what I think about Johnny Greenwood's score, and like I think that is probably my biggest sticking point, and I know that that's crazy, but it is.
That is not crazy.
So, but yeah, please go see it. It's a P.T. Anderson. Just come on now.
Scrolling through my selfies, call that one baddie after another. Thank you.
I've been singing it to the tune of The Fix's One Thing Leads to Another, basically since I actually took the time to learn the name of the movie.
So for a month, I've been like, I'm really excited about the new P.T. Anderson, and people have been like, what's it called? And I'm like,
no fucking clue.
Battles, the continuous battle, the battle that happens all the time. I fucking like, even until like fucking 2 days ago, I'm still fucking getting it wrong. No, I also don't think it's a particularly good title, but that's fucking irrelevant. I don't give a shit about that.
Yeah.
Constantly off stage by Craig is like a stagehand whispering, "What? One battle after another. One battle after another.
One battle after another."
Actually, if you have Netflix, maybe this is just America. If you're an American and you have Netflix, finally, years later, my season of Transformers Earthspark is available. If you like Transformers, you can watch Transformers Earthspark.
Yeah.
So.
Hell yeah.
Then into Paramount to be like, I loved the Josh McKenzie boarded episodes.
Yeah, please do.
Of Transformers
they don't know who I am, but please do that. No, but like Earthspark.
Keep hearing about this Funke.
But Earthspark was just on Paramount Plus for the longest time, and now it's on Netflix, a service that some people actually have. So if you'd like to watch it, then you should.
This Mackenzie's all they're talking about. Overrated, I say.
Overrated.
Yeah, you got to get in this poof. I'm always saying this to my friends.
Oh, I don't have my soundboard on.
Okay. Bye-bye.
Bye.